Good morning. GM. Welcome to another episode of FOMO HOUR. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2020. Folks, it is a cooler fall morning here in Chicago today. We are actually in the 40s right now. Fall is finally here, but we are warming up here later this week. It feels like October is also warming up, folks. It was a massive day for the ETFs. Larry is bull posting Bitcoin, Vitalik proposing changes, folks. And I don't know if you've seen Bitcoin this morning. Bitcoin is pumping on the open. The memes have been moving. We've got some surprising NFTs moving as well. We're going to break it all down on today's show. Farokh is traveling. He is over in Paris. So he's not here today, but we've got Mando on with us. Mando, GM, how you doing?
Great day. Absolutely amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well. Also, we love this kind of movement this early in the day. I feel like, honestly, I haven't seen a candle like this in what feels like months and months. So that's been a nice start here. Folks, it's going to be a quicker show. I got to run out to my son's field trip here in about 30 or 40 minutes. So we're going to give you a tight 30-minute show. What are we going to talk about? Topics for today. It's a big day for the ETFs, plus Larry thinks bullish Bitcoin comments. We're going to talk Vitalik publishing a new blog proposing major changes to Ethereum. Kamala releasing a very strange crypto framework. The Trump token went live this morning. It's already seen $5 million in sales. Aiden Ross potentially building a kick currency in the stream to earn model. We've got Hyperliquid announcing its token, and then we'll catch you up on all the latest in memes and NFTs, plus a lot more. Before we start, quick shout out to our partner Galaxis. With seamless built-in monetization tools, Galaxis enables the development of sustainable long-term communities, fulfilling Bitcoin's vision of decentralized freedom and independence from centralized control. Shout out to Galaxis as always. All right, Mando, if you're ready, let's get into it.
Oh, we have it.
We got it.
I'm on top though already. Can you dig it?
GM, everyone. So big day. It looks like Bitcoin heading towards was it 58K right now? 68K, sorry. Huge move. Looks like Bitcoin outperforming. Bitcoin dominance is heading towards 59, nearly 58 and a half right now. And it had been a little bit of a weak day, I'd say, before that. Most altcoins were down, most meme coins were down. There's a few ETH memes that had a bit of a move, but this is a Bitcoin led move, and it feels like it's mainly around Trump and Trump's odds. I feel like is what most people are saying for this Bitcoin outperformance. I would say that going into that election, Bitcoin's probably one of the top assets you want to own if you think Trump is going to win. I think you probably pick Bitcoin, Tesla, maybe Trump media. You know, if you think he's going to win, I think those could all have a good day. One second.
Tesla's an interesting one. I actually hadn't quite thought about that, but it does feel like Elon is so tied in to Trump at this point. A lot of folks are pointing to the rocket capture, how they caught that as actually a pivotal moment for this election, because it's almost a vote on, like, if you think that a Democratic administration would kind of slow that kind of progress down. So it's like progress versus regulation, I feel like is a new theme.
I mean, I think, there's a big Tesla trade there. I think he's obviously going to do well. He's even saying publicly, like, if it doesn't go well for me, it's not going to go, like, they could put him in jail and all this sort of stuff. Like, there's already been some rumors that they're, like, throwing regulation at him. And yeah, who knows? But I think if Trump wins, Tesla could go up like 30% over those few weeks. I think Trump will probably court Elon post-election as well, so everything will be made a little bit easier for him on the regulation side, probably with all those chip stuff that we were talking about as well, like the restrictions. So I think that's what's moving the market. Now you could talk about a load of other stuff. It's been a cold spring for a long time. You know, vibe shift under what's the term? Underwater beach ball.
Beach ball underwater, yeah.
Beach ball underwater. It's felt like that for a little bit, right? Global liquidity going higher, stocks all hitting all-time highs. But this move I think is more of an election move, and he continues to pull ahead. And it did feel as though Kamala's attempt to court crypto yesterday was just a bit just didn't work, basically. So I think that's what it is. I do think, and I've said for a long time, but it will be in or around all-time high. I think around that election. I think whether you want to own it on election day, I'm not sure, because if he loses, then I do think that could unwind pretty quickly, and we could probably go back down to the sort of area we are right now, like low 60s. Although I think you buy that dip, but if he wins, I think we push on, probably go to 80k roughly, I would say, and then I think we could end the year 90 to 100. So I think that's what we're seeing here, just in terms of Bitcoin. There wasn't much in terms of again, like other specific news. There was this Vitalik doing a blog post about ETH, which is, I think it was out yesterday. He's been talking just generally about the future of ETH. Like he's just posing questions and posing upgrades that could happen. These can take years to have happened, but he's talking about reducing the validator limit. But Vitalik's a big decentralization maxi, and I think he's seen right now that there is some centralization in the proof of stake mechanism that he's trying to come up against, and mainly that's because of this whole restaking and staking protocols, which are clustering a lot of the ETH together, which can be dangerous. So I think he's trying to think of ways to reduce that, but I think that could be taken relatively positively as well. Like it would onboard more people to it to a certain extent. It does look like Solana is the only real one that's kind of holding up. I think most of the other L1s are actually lower. Most altcoins, like Sui, for example, is lower on the day, looks like now, which I think is relatively interesting. Solana's kind of not keeping pace with Bitcoin, but definitely not lower. But there was some movement back into ETH, and there's been some talk about the idea that this could be a little bit of a flutter again for ETH. It's been a long time. I saw DC Investor tweeting again yesterday. Like, normally that indicates there could be a little bit of a run, which would be nice. It would be good to see ETH go back to. I mean, it is crazy where it's trading, right? 2,600. Bitcoin's about to probably go close to all-time high, and ETH still at 2,600. That is kind of nuts. So
it's about 1,000 less than I feel like I would have expected if you told me that Bitcoin's at 68 and knocking on all-time high.
Where did Bitcoin start? Where did Bitcoin start the year? Like 33?
Yeah,
something like that.
Roughly. Yeah, let's see.
Maybe it was slightly higher.
It looks like 40, lower 40s.
Oh, maybe it was lower 40s. Yeah, so
42. So it's up 50%, 50, 60%.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm talking about where was it? 1st of December. Where are they both on 1st of December?
Yeah, that's where I think the bigger move came from.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, a full year ago, Bitcoin was 28.5. And then, let's see. Yeah, the big move was December 1st. So it was 38. Yeah, 38 back in December 1st.
Wow. Yeah, it just feels it's underperformed so much, which I think it deserves to be higher than where it is right now. I do still think with all the TVL and stuff going on ETH, it deserves to be higher, but let's see. And there was obviously macro's been hitting all-time highs again. There was some bullishness again coming out of China. The dollar, interestingly, has been hitting new highs though, which I wouldn't have really predicted here. Like Bitcoin's been really strong in the face of actually the dollar hitting a 10-week high. Part of the reason why I thought Bitcoin was initially rallying was because the dollar, people were expecting rate cuts, the dollar came down, and but the dollar's actually strong The dollar's been very, very strong because there's been a lot more expectation now that they're not going to raise rates as quickly, cut rates as quickly as expected in the US. So this is a really good sign for Bitcoin that we are hitting, let's say, a little bit of a local high here at the same time as the dollar going higher. That's definitely not throwing people off course. What else do we have in crypto? Yeah, I guess the other big interview was the Larry Fink one, and his comments that were made about. I think people can kind of take this out of context, but he's basically saying this is like an absolutely massive bit of technology and could be the start of something, an asset class in itself, which it kind of already is. You know, we're over $2 trillion asset class. He's basically saying this can be a tens of trillions of dollar asset class, which I think most people in crypto agree as well. We saw massive inflows into the BlackRock ETF, and in all ETFs. We've had 800 million of inflows over the last 2 days just into the ETF products. And I think maybe those comments are linked together, but I also think, again, that's probably just to do with the Trump trade. I think it's people are looking for those. If I was a trader right now, this is the time I'd start thinking about those bets. 3 weeks out, what do I want to own? I think Bitcoin would definitely jump out. I was trying to think what those other bets would be, and I think Tesla is probably one. I think maybe some of the U.S. energy names could be other ones because he's been talking about opening up that bit in the industry. Trump Media, the stock. I don't know if you'd own the Trump meme coins, right? Like they don't even feel like a good play on that. I guess Polymarket or Myriad doing a bet there would probably be a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I just don't even know. Like, I think that's the point. There's, apart from just owning stocks at all-time highs, it feels as though the thing that you want to own into the event trade is Bitcoin. It honestly is. Like, I think a lot of people will be like, Trump's going to get elected, we should own Bitcoin.
That makes sense. I actually wonder if that's actually like short-term bearish for some, like the other L1s, perhaps even this meme cycle. Like if we see a huge influx into Bitcoin, folks worried that they're going to miss it, right? Do we see some rotation? And I think personally, I feel like that would be a short-term move, and then it would come back. That part of the sector would come back strong. But I mean, you're right. It looks like it's a Bitcoin move right now. There's not really much else has been moving along with it. It looks like Bitcoin retracing some of that right now. I want to come back to Larry's comments because I feel like there's a bit of a tale of two cities going on. I think you've got some of the old guard on crypto Twitter, and there's still like a fair amount of negativity about this cycle. A lot of it's tied to like the prevalence of meme coins and folks just kind of just bearish on where crypto has come in 10 years. And then on the flip side, you've got Larry talking to all the BlackRock investors and talking about how this is the beginning of a brand new asset class that is just starting. He compares it to the early days of the mortgage market, to the high yield market. And basically, there's no tools. There's not much analysis on this. That's all going to come. AI is going to come. We're going to build that on top of this. He points to like basically every country having their own digital currency and what kind of a catalyst that will be for Bitcoin and crypto adoption. And I mean, he's clearly a long-term bull. And I feel like that contrasts with a lot of the takes I still see on this timeline when I show up every day, which feels so strange. But I don't know. I feel like it's hard to be bearish on Bitcoin when you read Larry's comments here.
I would agree that he seems more bullish than, I would say, 60 to 70% of the crypto market. I think part of it is this, right? Everyone has listened to like the Myriad speech, and they're saying, this whole industry's a scam and you should just own memes. If you actually listen to Myriad's speech, he doesn't say that. What he says is that the use cases of crypto are digital gold, payments, and speculation. All the other utility-based stuff is the stuff that's overvalued. Now, I think, quite simply, I think that a lot of people in crypto if they weren't owning memes before this cycle, they actually owned a lot of altcoins. Like I would say, I mean, I own Bitcoin right now. I would say I'm honestly in the minority of people who turn up onto CT each day. Like Bitcoin is my biggest holding, easily my biggest holding. I don't think that's true for like 90% of the people who turn up, because they're here for speculation and they're here to meme. Before that was altcoins. This cycle it moved to meme coins. And I think people got bearish on that move, that like they got rugged on all the altcoins, and now we've got to move to meme coins, and meme coins are just pure speculation down to their core, and often the morals around them are a little bit more tough, and well, they're just different actually. But I think that's what the bearishness is within crypto, is like this realization that a lot of the dreams of crypto are probably going to be slightly cut short to being payments, digital gold, and memes. And I think Larry's really in the payment side of this business, and maybe in some of the tokenization bit of this business. But I think you can still marry up those two views, and that you can see like massive holes in like what people have been sold for many years, and that it's all like a scam. At the same time as thinking that this can still happen. The payments and tokenization bit of the business, I think, can be absolutely massive in the future. But I don't necessarily know if that needs a coin. That can kind of just be done on an L1 by a publicly listed company, rather than something that has to issue a crypto coin. So
yeah,
I think you can marry up the two views a little bit.
Increasing digitization of currency doesn't mean that every coin is going to go up. But it likely means that Bitcoin will probably go up. I feel like that is my read on it. I feel like there's been a lot of folks have been questioning, so like, what would drive, like, what's the driver for Bitcoin to go 70 to 100K? And I think that the Trump election certainly is a factor right now. I'm not going to deny that, even though Larry, in his first comments, he does say that he thinks Bitcoin does well regardless.
I agree.
Of who is in office. Yeah, we both share that.
Yeah.
But I feel like we said this back before the ETS launched, that no one was ready for like the sales tour that he was going to go on, and he's doing it right now. Like that prediction did play out. Like he is going on the sales tour right now for crypto. We still haven't seen the bankers do it, the boots on the ground. And I think that could be a big unleash in Q4, is when the army of Morgan Stanley advisors start really pitching this to their clients. So I think, if in my head, like what could actually move us up 50%, that could be a factor in play. So that is certainly one that I'm watching. Real quick on the election, we've talked about it. Trump's lead is as big as it ever has been on Polymarket. It's up 57 to 43. So a pretty big lead there. Certainly Kamala's comments yesterday didn't help.
You look at this quite a lot. Like which states is it down to? I actually haven't gone into the state by state level. I saw someone said it's like actually only down to like 15 counties, because it's so like county lines are so either red or blue in so many of these states, but then there's a few like purple ones that are basically going to decide the whole race.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, it really felt like it was just Pennsylvania and whatever happened. And like, to your point, it really just probably a handful of counties in Pennsylvania, because it seemed like Michigan and Wisconsin were likely going to go Kamala, even though the odds here are reflecting Trump. Ohio, North Carolina, more going the Trump side. I need to dig into the state odds and some of the polling. I've been kind of tuned out from it here the last few weeks. I mean, I think Silver still has it. He still has Kamala.
Like the money, man. This is where I think you can make money, Tyler. You should be looking at it on a state by state level. I feel like if you're gonna make money on Polymarket or Myriad on the day of the election, it's gonna be this.
Yeah, this is where it makes sense, because we're only 3 weeks out. So like a part of the opportunity cost of betting on Poly and these other sites were just locking up your capital. Now it's a 2x in 3 weeks on a lot of these markets, because most of these are coin flips. That's not so bad. So I do think we'll see a big spike in volume. Just quickly, it was a very strange move from the Kamala Harris campaign yesterday. So she finally made her crypto comments. We alluded to this on yesterday's show, but we didn't share any of the detail She tied it to the black voter base. So she released this document. They want to broaden access to banking and financial services. We want to make owners of investors in digital assets benefit from a regulatory framework so that black men and others who participate in the market are protected. I mean, just this 5 words, this 6 words, just so that people are protected. Like literally, that's all it had to be. I know, like she was giving this speech. I think it was it was a speech in front of a black voter base, but the whole crypto market had been like waiting for months for her to come out with what her platform was, or at least some type of an overview, and then she pegs it to a specific race. It was such a strange move, and just it makes me question who is on her campaign team and helping to make these decisions, because these are just bad decisions, and we've seen some pretty negative feedback here already. So
yeah,
I don't think she's winning the crypto vote here.
Just hilarious, just absolutely hilarious. I thought, like, I saw the document is the one that got me, because yeah, if she's making a speech, fair enough, like maybe she's speaking to the audience, but I think basically there's clearly worry that she's not winning over enough male black and Hispanic voters, right?
Yeah.
But and that's been written with this as a lens. But within crypto, is like, crypto is, most people are sort of anonymous, right? You don't even know their race. Like it is not a, well, you could say that there's obviously racist elements to everything there, but like I don't think being a supporter of crypto has anything to do with your race at all.
Yeah, that's what made this so shocking. It's one of the most race agnostic industries I think you could participate in. Everyone's got cartoon PFPs.
Yeah.
For the most part. So clearly out of touch. That was not a win for her. Quickly on the Vitalik stuff. I mean, you gave the headline here. I think the big changes are really in the ETH requirements to validate into stake. So reducing it from 32 ETH, which costs nearly $100,000 right now, to just 1. So anyone who holds a single ETH would be able to participate. So more access, more decentralization. There's another component of this with the finality of block times, reducing from the 15 minutes to perhaps as low as 12 seconds. So perhaps a speed increase to this as well. All seemed pretty positive, but as you mentioned, these are things that are potentially years in the making. So it's hard to get too ahead of ourselves right now. In protocol news, I think the biggest news of the day was out of Hyperliquid. So the Hyper Foundation launched yesterday. Their goal, of course, to grow the Hyperliquid blockchain and its ecosystem. They announced their token, the Hype token. We don't really have many details about that. Tokenomics, they did encourage users to sign up and accept their terms on their site by November 11th. So that seems like a key date. So perhaps the token may be coming in November. I saw some chatter on the timeline that it's heavily geo-blocked, that no one can use VPNs. So I saw some FUD around that. I do personally, I've had this experience where protocols will allow you to use a VPN to use the site, but then not to claim the token. It does feel fairly two-faced. So in general, it's
kind of interesting what you've seen here, actually, because I think Eigenlayer got the same pushback, right? Is that they often have the VPN on for like the first few weeks, and then they turn it off like a month in. So like when the regulator's having a look, they'll keep it on, and then they'll just slyly turn it off like 4 weeks after. I think Eigenlayer had the same thing. Like,
I didn't know that, actually. That's interesting.
Yeah. Just watch out. It's a common move now.
Yeah, we'll be compliant here for the first few weeks, and then we'll let folks in the back door. Well, unfortunately, but for a lot of these tokens, they've sold off quite a bit after that first 2 weeks. I think Eigen perhaps is an exception. We'll see. Have you used Hyperliquid, or do you have much of a read on this Hype token, or where you think this thing might launch at?
I think it's been, honestly, I think it's a good product. It's a good product, but I think there's a lot of different perp dexes out there you can trade on. I don't have some like unbelievable experience in Hyperliquid versus some of the other things, other than you have more liquidity there right now. But do I think that another perp dex could now come in and do this and just get some liquidity doing it? Like people used to do this on GMX, and then it was DYDX, and then Hyperliquid. Like money moves in these perp. It's that people are just farming for the airdrop. So after the airdrop, you'll get to see how good the product is, I think, far more than other things. But I think it's a competitive landscape for these sort of things. It's a good product, but I think someone like the core CT crowd are like super bullish on it. Like Base 16Z, that guy, and a bunch of other people are always pushing high liquid. Yeah, I mean it's good.
I saw that as well. And then I feel like the first like airdrop farming window closed, and all volumes dropped off fairly significantly. I feel like I saw less bull posting after that event. So certainly we will see. I think the other one, this isn't quite like a protocol news, but Aiden Ross apparently and Kick, they are working together for a Kick currency for a stream to earn model. I honestly, I didn't dig into this. I just assumed this was.
Because this would be interesting. Like, obviously, Kick is owned by Stake, the crypto casino.
Okay.
So, and they have never done a currency, right? So maybe they'll do this, but I mean,
don't read too much into it yet. But
stream to earn just sounds like something that's going to zero to me. But
you have to be careful with the tokenomics and how that's going to be sustainable. Certainly. So we'll see. We'll put that one on the back burner. I think just quickly going through the meme board here, the big one, Turbo. So like this is just kind of it's a reflection on this AI meta that like the GOAT coin from Truth Terminal really. Again, the coin's not from Truth Terminal, but tied to the Truth Terminal, kicked this off. So the GOAT coin hit 160 million yesterday. It's back down to 120. We've seen tons of derivatives. So this is clearly the meta of the day, of the week right now. Turbo, the biggest winner. I mean, this is at 900 million now. And
which of those stories do you like? Which of those stories do you like more?
Of which stories? In the AI meta itself, or just across the board?
Do you prefer the GOAT story, or do you prefer the Turbo story? Because I think I prefer the Turbo story. Like GOAT just seems like he didn't even make it. He just said, "Oh, I like this coin." I don't really get why everyone's going so crazy about it.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't personally buy it when I saw it at 2 million. It was like, this isn't even really the AI's token. It just likes it, and the meme is one that it talked about. Clearly, people have run with it from there. I mean, the thing about Turbo, I think the Turbo story is better, but I mean, Turbo was also dead until the cabal pumped it, and now the cabal's done a nice job. I mean, my read is it probably going to go higher? Yes. I don't like it at 900 million market cap. Like I'm not that desperate to jump into an AI. I think we're starting to see more folks trying to do like the archaeologist play. Like there's this WAAC token, which apparently is the first AI coin on Ethereum. So now it caught some hype. This Medusa coin was the runner of the day. It's 0 to 28 million here in about 24 hours. Apparently, this is the first AI coin on Pump Fun. So it's a mover. We'll see where it goes from here.
Can't these AIs like start talking about the duck more often? You know, maybe I should just tweet at Truth Terminal. Yo at Truth.
Here's the thing: once all the gaming streamers come over and adopt Epic, from then we can start thinking about how it becomes an AI and gaming there. So you've got a lot of options here in the future. Murad meme, just quickly going through this list. Red Day, not a huge surprise given the huge run up. I think the biggest one is Popcat not moving, kind of along with the rest of the top of the board. So I think that's going to be one to watch. Mog had a big day, but it looks like it gave back some of the gains. It's flipped SBX here. Base had, I believe, the Degen coin.
Did you hear that?
What was that?
Mog flip SPX. Just because Farokh's not on the show, you can say it.
Yeah, Farokh's not here, so I can give Mog its flowers. The reason why Mog flipped SPX is because of Mog Auras. Mog Aura is the number one mover on the ETH NFT board. It's at 0.69. Wow. So it's a huge rocket. It's up 140% as the meme NFT craze goes nuts. But just for some perspective, yeah, these things were 0.1 a week ago. And then like 10 days ago, they were 0.01. So these are like literally a
What did you say?
I said Mog Auras are the reason that why Mog is pumping here.
No, before that.
But Mog did flip SPX. So we all can victory lap it here for a day or so until SPX reflips it later this week. Probably as soon.
You just
as
show
tomorrow.
up. You just show up when Mog gets mentioned. Is that it?
I've been commenting and watching the show for like 20 minutes. Yeah. Look, I've been commenting at you guys saying, I've just been putting a bunch of unhinged stuff in the comments.
Let's look at this Mog chart. I mean, the Mog chart looks good. Like I'm not gonna lie about that. Looks like it could explode up for sure. I just think SPX probably goes a little higher.
Or it's a lower high right there.
Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee
it.
So we'll certainly see. The other story, just we went into meme NFT, so I'll continue it. Sprotogram on set 4.2 yesterday. So that's they went 0.58 to 4.2 in about a month. So that's one of the bigger moves we've seen in NFTs in quite some time.
There's only 3,000 of these. Do you think they can flip Bored Apes?
I do. I think they are the clear winner of like the Myriad meme NFT meta here. I would have thought it was Aeons because
people like these. Within NFTs, I think people know the Sprotogrammons, right?
Yeah.
Like
these were already well liked.
Yeah.
And they jump out. Like, I mean, you see this, like, you know what it is. Like, right.
Yeah.
Like they're very distinct. And I think a lot of people like I've got friends who had the ticker Bitcoin t-shirt, like who may not even have the meme coin. Like that was a pretty viral branding and it's fun. So if I had to pick one of these to flip the current majors, it probably would be Sprotos.
Yeah, I think so too.
But we will certainly see. I think that took us through most of the updates here. Let's see if I missed anything. Nero was up at 900 million. Looks like it gave it back. We talked about Myriad. Anything on the Solana board jumping out? Mew and Bohm both had nice days. Looks like Bohm kind of giving some of it back here as well. Flog continues to grind up back at 200 million.
Yeah, Flog I think was the biggest gainer. Yeah.
So it's looking pretty good as well. But with that, I think that was a nice quick roundup, folks. We promised you a 35 minute show. It looks like we were able to deliver that. I want to shout out all the listeners for tuning in to today's show. That will be it. We will be back tomorrow on Wednesday, breaking down all of today's action. Plus rollbit spins, double rollbit spins tomorrow, since we weren't able to bring those to you today. So stay tuned for that. As for today, go have a great Tuesday. Go make it a beautiful day. Goodbye.